Welcome back to Hardball. The rise of presidential candidate Herman Cain continues to rise in the race for the Republican nomination. It's been the talk of politics lately. A recent ad, by the way, featuring his campaign COO, Mark Block, is all the buzz on YouTube. Let's watch this bizarre ad by Herman Cain.
Here. Since January, I've had the privilege of being the chief of staff to Herman Cain and the chief operating officer of the Friends of Herman Cain. Tomorrow is one day closer to the White House. I really believe that Herman Cain will put United back in the United States of America. And if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. We need you to get involved because together we can do this. We can take this country back.
So good, that ad, and I don't know why exactly. So how does the Energizer Bunny of politics just keep going and going while the establishment coalesces boringly around Mitt Romney is the joke on the GOP. John Harris is editor-in-chief of Politico, and Gene Robinson is the columnist for the Washington Post and an MSNBC politics. Gene, you're here, so I've got to ask you this first. I am telling you, could we live in such a phenomenal world? I remember, I've got to be careful, but I remember when the ACC, right? Mm-hmm. Atlantic Coast Conference got Charlie Scott, and all of a sudden all the other teams integrated.
Yeah.
Is the Republican Party doing what the ACC did? You've got Barack Obama. We got to bring in Herman Cain. What is going on here?
You know, I've given up saying that firsts can't happen because firsts happen all the time now. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's improbable. But look
at the numbers today. I want to show you these numbers, everybody, because everybody thinks, well, Herman Cain's just dodgeball. He's just another way not to vote for Mitt Romney. Now, maybe he is somebody. But look at the numbers again. Now, 25%. Romney is at 21. He's going up a bit, but he's getting lapped by this guy at some point. Gingrich is at 10. Paul's at 8. Perry's down at 6. Perry has lost everything to Cain because Cain can talk.
Yeah. Cain can talk, and Cain takes the positions that wing of the party likes. Immigration really hurt Rick Perry.
They hate illegal immigrants. They hate the government. Mm-hmm. They hate taxes. They love free enterprise.
Right, and so Perry can pass on most of that stuff, but on immigration, that I think is more important, really, than his inability to talk.
You know, I got to go back again to the ethnic factor. We've seen this before, John Harrison. We're going to be figuring this out when the voting gets real in Iowa. By the way, where he's also sweeping ahead to 37% Cain now, although everything out there is volatile. You know, what is this? Is this the LDS factor? Is this the fact they think that Mitt Romney really is a not a well-closeted moderate Republican from Massachusetts, that the only conservative game in town happens to be an African-American business guy without political experience, but they're damn determined to vote for a conservative, and he's the real credible candidate to do that for them?
Well, that's part of it, Chris, but I would also say we've seen throughout this year that candidates are almost like a fashion choice, that they come and go with the season, and people are making a statement about themselves in who they back in these polls, not necessarily making a statement about who they think is going to be the Republican nominee.
But there's nobody waiting in line behind him, John.
And what Cain
if there's nobody behind him, what's he do? If you can't switch from this guy to the next Donald Trump, the next Bachmann, because there's none left, don't you get stuck holding this guy as your candidate against Mitt Romney?
Well, look, the roller coaster ride isn't necessarily over yet, Chris. We've had rides up and down, and I think there's probably going to be several more twists and humps to go up and down and over in this race. So I don't accept what you say, that Cain is the last man standing as the alternative to Romney. He is, for the moment, the one attracting the most attention. He's getting quite a ride. But, I mean, we've seen too many times this cycle somebody rise up and rise down, and in the case of Perry, possibly make an effort to come back. So, anyway, enjoy the ride.
John, Gene, remember the old Gandhian rule, which I always do when I'm feeling low, which is first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. That's what happened to the British and Gandhi. Well, here's Karl Rove proving that he's at the attack speed here. Here he is going after this guy, Cain. On Fox News, brought out his whiteboard to list all the reasons why Cain isn't up to being president of the United States. Let's listen to the inimitable, the unpleasant perhaps, Karl Rove with part of his explanation.
Cain has had a number of misstatements. I mean, we've had abortion. We had earlier this year, he didn't understand what the right of return was, the Palestinian demand for the right of return. He recently said he didn't understand what neoconservatives were when it came to foreign policy. He had a rather odd answer on Afghan policy. Basically, I'll figure it out once I get into office. The federal sales tax, the way he handled it in the debate, apples and oranges. The whole effect of this is to not create an image, I think, of him as being a flip-flopper. I think it is to create an image of him as not being up to this task. And that's really deadly.
Yeah,
that's really deadly for a presidential candidate.
Joseph Smith with the tablets. I mean, what is this guy doing with he's got this big, like, mosaic tablet here, and he's quoting from it.
Did you see the vein at his temple that seemed to be throbbing? I mean, this is driving him nuts, and driving the Republican establishment
Why?
nuts. Because people won't settle on Mitt Romney, they've lost control. They think that Mitt Romney is the guy who can best challenge Barack Obama. And so let's just go with the guy who's driving crazy.
Is this it, John? Is it the Republican Party used to being disciplined? Will they please clear the aisles? And they clear the aisles at the conventions. They do what they're told. It's time to pick the candidate, and they're resisting Mitt.
Well, there's obviously some of that. But I said to you, enjoy the ride. But Karl Rove is saying, look, no, I'm not enjoying the ride. I don't think this is about a ride. I think this is about who can actually beat Barack Obama. And the things on his list, his tablet from the Mount, as you say, those are authentic liabilities in any kind of normal year for somebody that wants to be a serious contender for the Republican nomination. Karl wasn't just making those things up. Those are things that are difficult for Cain to explain. Those are reasons why we have to wonder whether this souffle will collapse just as Michelle Bachmann's did and Rick Perry's and some of the others that we've seen in this cycle.
Yeah, again, I get back to Anita Souffle, though, and he's the last one rising. Anyway, I got to go. Thank you, Gene Robinson. Thank you, John Harris of the wonderful Politico.